Greetings, goddesses. How are y'all doing? Hey, how y'all doing? Welcome. We coming in hot today. We coming in hot. Hello, High Priestess Shannon. Hey, it's Leo season. It's time to get lit. Not drunk, lit, but you know what I mean. I'm not good with that kind of language. I'm so old-fashioned. Welcome, goddesses. Glad y'all are here. TV embroidery queen. Let's time now. Hey. I need some dance hall. Hi, JL Hut. Hey, queen. How are you doing? Larissa in the house. Larissa in the house. Hey, queen. Hey, queen. Hey, queen. Yes. Y'all, it's Leo season. Come on, y'all. We don't do nothing small with Leo. Come on. All right, let me get going. Let's have some music here. Like, what's doing? What's doing? Greetings, goddesses. I am Tirra Omilade, your goddess guru, your sister friend, and I love helping women align with their life purpose using the power of ancient wisdom and the goddess-centered lifestyle. We are all things goddess here. We're all things goddess. We're all things women empowerment. We're all things, let's take the old and apply it to the new, living life on our own terms, living life balanced, all that kind of good stuff. That's what we're about here. All right. So, yes. a.k.a. You're right, Ayoka. How are you, queen? It is a great way. I thought I got to bring something that's got movement and energy. So, yes, we always need that music. So, yeah, what we're going to do today is we're going to talk a little astrology. We're going to do our oracle reading. Seems like things have just been up in the air for me all year, but I am going to get us focused on something. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Right now, I'm all things Ifa. I've been studying the Odu, which is the wisdom text, and talking about the Orisha and what is Ifa all about, all that kind of good stuff. I have this fabulous book. It's called Isheshe. If you want to know more about Ifa, this is a great way to get started. Whether you have your a.k.a.s or not, you can look at this book. You can learn about Ifa when it's time for you to get your a.k.a.s when I do this again. You can join me, or, maybe you're going to join somebody else. But yeah. Awesome. Yes. It's amazing. It's amazing. And for me, belly dance right now. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I always love Afro beats too. Always. What are y'all drinking? I am actually, y'all know that in here I said join me for coffee. I'm gonna put my spoon down here. I'm actually drinking coffee this morning. So I thought, which mug am I gonna use? And I chose showing up as my CEO self. That's because it's Leo season, y'all. Come on, Leo's the boss. But we don't have to necessarily be CEO of a company. We can be CEO of our lives. So, y'all, cheers. Drinking a cup of Shango. You know I'm going to get that book. Get the book. I'm telling you. Let me tell you about this book right here. And now you have to buy it. As far as I can tell, you have to buy the book on Amazon because she put this on Kindle. Yes, I said she. This book was written by a.k.a. Kumari. a.k.a. Kumari. I'll show you her picture. PhD, baby. PhD. It's written well. It's self-published, so there are some typos that drive me crazy, but this is an excellently written book. I mean, there's going to be typos no matter what. But anywho, don't want to talk about that. I got this book because I thought I can't recreate the wheel and trying to teach the ladies about Ifa. And so I just was like, let me see what's out there. And this is actually a workbook. It's Isheshe Spirituality Workbook. And so as I was reading it, I was like, it's as if Dr. Kumari and I have had a conversation, and it's like she sees the world in E5, just like me. I cannot co-sign on this book enough. Isheshe workbook, a spirituality workbook, and you go to Amazon to get it. All right. So yeah. Okay, let's see here. We have cafecito, cinnamon coffee. Vivi Embroidery Queen is drinking water for once. Woohoo! Oshun and Yemaja say, yay, yay, good job. Grand Awakening, how are you, Diamond? How are you? Yes, yes, yes. Drinking water, wishing I had a latte. Oh my gosh, that sounds so good. Sounds so, so good. All right, Queen. So, as always, I do have a membership. The link is in the description box. And recently, things that I put in the membership, understanding this Uranus energy, this Uranian energy. Have y'all seen what is going on with all the Uranian energy? I wonder if y'all can tell. Tell me what you're seeing. But yeah, I want you to understand how Uranus and Gemini is going to support you and perhaps create some type of breakthrough, or I don't know. It's something else right there. It's something else with that Uranus. And also, what else did I put in there? The Jupiter in Cancer. And I know I put in I think I did the full moon. I don't know. I put stuff in there on the regular basis. I show up and put in a weekly post to give you some wisdom for the week. And so, yeah, it's only $9.99 a month. If you would consider joining, the link is in the description box. So what we're going to do is we are going to, one other thing. I put a video out about Malcolm Jamal Warner. May his soul rest in peace. We're all in shock, especially people my age. It feels like we lost a friend. Never met the man in my life, but we grew up together. He's the same age as me, born in the same year as me. In my astrological mind, feeling like, oh, you know what? I need answers because I don't understand. Like, this feels like such a big loss. And I decided to look at what's going on in his chart, because I told y'all last week, Mars is going to meet that South Node. And every time Mars meets that South Node, I promise y'all, it's like, I don't like it. And whenever Mars is on the 29th degree of a sign, for the most part, I don't like it. And I thought that we had made it through. I thought, well, it didn't seem like anything massively stood out. But sure enough, that was the shocker for me. The sudden loss of Malcolm Jamal Warner. But I made a video. I did my best to I'm not making any money off of that video. I try not to be clickbaity about it or whatever. But if you need some answers around that, that's how I'll say it, then you can look at that video. So let us look at the astrology for the week. And this has a new setup back here. So sometimes I get a little bit confused. Like, where am I going? What am I clicking? Here we go. Queens. Okay, so the sun, is in Leo, went into Leo yesterday. All right, y'all. Let me just say, happy Leo season to all of the Leos. Happy New Year to all the new Leo moons and rising signs. And yeah, just happy Leo season to everybody. We talked last week about the importance of having fun just for the sake of having fun. We have Mercury retrograde in Leo. And so it's time for us to really be evaluating how much fun are we having. Leo's the season where we're always looking at our gifts and our talents, and how are we showing up and being authentically who we came here to be. And it's very creative. You can come up with creative solutions. It's this energy of motivation. So, like Aries is more of like the drill sergeant, and Sagittarius is sharing all the inspiration of the fire signs. But Leo is going to motivate you. When we hear those motivational videos where, they're quoting all, it's just whatever. It's been so long since I listened to one, but y'all know what those videos are. It has music playing in the background, and the person who's talking is just telling you can do it, you can do it. So that's Leo. Leo is so good with motivation. So I want y'all to open yourselves up to the motivation. What do you need to get motivated to do? Leo is here for you. Um, okay. So we had Leo go into the sun go into Leo. It'll be there for 30 days. It brings up all these topics and these themes for Leo. And whatever house Leo is for you, then it will bring up all of those topics. I'm just going to tell y'all do a light explanation of it. So, like, I'm going to talk about the elements because I'll do it faster this way. So, for the elements, it's going to bring up topics of like, where's my life going? What is it that I want to do? What is it that I need to do about my body? Also, it is an energy that's like, hey, I want to be who I came here to be. I want to shine. I want to be authentic. I want to have fun. Oh, Leo is about dating. Now, we do have Mercury retrograde, so it might be some booze that are coming back. So, maybe it's just going to be a short term, type of situation, but it is about dating and sex, and it's a little sensual and fun. So those are things you could be thinking about. And also for, let's see here, it would be let's see here, Leo. No, for Sagittarius, where is it? I always have to look at my notes because sometimes I just can't order. Yeah, that's what I thought for. So for Sagittarius, it's like you feel like you're wanting to expand, you're wanting to grow, and you're wanting to maybe learn something new, or something around teaching and learning. That could be something else that's coming up for the fire signs, and it just broadening your horizons. Maybe you're working on a book. So for the fire signs, maybe that's something that will be coming through for you also. And yeah. Okay, so let's see here. For the earth signs, these are the career houses for the earth signs. Let me see here. No, 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 no. For the earth signs, it's not the career houses. It is the water houses. So for the earthy people, that's going to be Taurus, Virgo, and Scorpio. No, Capricorn. It'll be opening you up emotionally. You could find this time to be very intuitive. You could actually be a little extra emotional during this time also, but maybe it's just sort of like you're just going to feel in touch with your emotions, and you can use it to purge and clear and clean and release whatever's there. Some of the earth signs might want to work on home. Other earth signs might be focused on taxes or writing a grant, getting a scholarship, something like that. The money that you share with other people. And let me see here. 12 is or maybe it's kind of like you're working on overspending. Some of the earth signs might be like, "Ooh, I'm spending way too much money." Like that might would be Virgo. Or so all of them might be focused on healing in some kind of way, connecting with the unseen world, connecting with the ancestors. This is what Leo means for all of the earth queens and, just everybody who's under those signs. Okay, so for the air is going to be Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. What is Leo for you all? Leo is the social houses. Because you have Leo on a social house, in a way, it's kind of what makes y'all shine as the social signs. Um, so you may feel ultra social at this time. So these houses have to do with making connections with like peers or one-to-one type relationships, like with your significant other, or people who are besties. Or it could be some of the air signs are like, I want to go hang out in a big, like, workout, be in a conference, someplace where there's a lot of people. And let's see here. The social houses are also very intellectual. So you may find yourself on intellectual pursuits, really doing a lot of thinking, but it's like this super creative thinking that can come through with Leo. And maybe some of y'all are kind of like, I'm thinking about having more fun, because Leo is fun. But the kind of fun y'all might want to have is like, you want to just talk. You want to just have lots of conversations with people. Um, you might want to write. I'm trying to think of things that what do Libras and Geminis and Aquarius, what do y'all really love to do? That's just, it's sort of intellectual, it's sort of smart. Maybe going into the museums and the art shows, they y'all kind of like doing stuff like that. Geminis would want to do something more of like go be outside walking around, like go into DC. I'm thinking like go to DC and you're just walking around and just taking in all the sights. So that's a fun house. That's a really fun house. Okay, last but not least is the water sign. So that's going to be Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Y'all are the ones where Leo is going to be on a house that has to do with making money. So y'all will be like, I know the rest of these people want to have fun, but I got my mind on my money and my money on my mind. Or, y'all, I'm sorry, I just need to get organized. I need to take care of some stuff. It's like super practical. When everyone else is kind of like, oh, I just want to have fun. The water signs are like, no, it's all about practicality. I want to get things organized. I want to get things neat. I'm focused on my job. I'm focused on my career. I want to be more streamlined. And what's the other word? It's just like you want to have you want to have like a plan and a list of things to do and get those things done. So use Leo season wisely, water signs. Also, the water signs, Leo is on what are called the earth houses. So when Leo's on the earth houses, that means that you're also focused on your health and your well-being. So a lot of us, water signs are kind of like, hey, I need to get up. I've noticed that about myself ever since Mercury went retrograde. I'm like, I gotta be serious about how I'm taking care of myself. I gotta get up. I gotta go take my walk, and I gotta take another walk. I got to do my belly dance class. I've got to take care of myself. I've noticed that. And maybe, another piece to that would be the water signs are kind of focused on what you're eating. Some of the water signs might also be focused on family affairs, something, like a parent or something like that might be coming up for you to focus on. So that's what I have. Let's see here. Let's see what you all said. I saw a few. Woke up with pure inspiration and my muse is on a roll. Yes. Hey, Christina, grand awakening. Oh, still learning is here. Hi, Queen. How are you? Good to see everybody. Thank y'all for speaking to each other. Muse on full speed. Okay. Yeah, that's why I said I want to just kind of go through and let y'all know, hey, feeling incredibly focused right now. Pisces sun. I'm with you, Jamin. I'm a Pisces sun. And yeah, I'm just like, hey, I got stuff I need to get done. It's interesting because it's earth houses. And yesterday I said, I finally feel grounded. Even though it's Leo, it's still on an earth house. And I was like, oh my gosh, I finally feel grounded. And that's how we feel when we're working with all things earth. Okay. So today we have the sun sextile Uranus and we have Venus square Mars. It is a day where maybe yesterday, today, tomorrow, it's a little bit of a day where things can happen where it feels a little unexpected, or you'll have a plan and then something else comes up. So you have to deviate from the plan. So stay a little flexible, but open yourselves up to flashes of insight. Like something ingenious can just come to you. And it's like, oh my gosh, I really and truly um, have just thought of something that I'd never thought of before, but it gives you like this breakthrough. And it's like, I know what to do. I talked about Leo being an energy where we can come up with creative solutions. And so that's something that might come through. Um, okay, so the Venus square Mars could create a little bit of friction between people, especially men and women. So don't be surprised if you bump up against somebody, of the male persuasion. um, and Venus, and for men, I would say don't be surprised if you bump up against somebody of the female persuasion because, Venus, men are from Mars and women are from Venus. That's what that Venus square Mars is all about, kind of showing the differences. Now, Venus is this energy that is also about relationships. So it could be there's a little bit of friction, a little fighting, some tension, because Mars is fight, tension, um, there. But one of the ways you can use this to get yourself going. Well, one of the ways you can use this is to get yourself going. I'm not fully tuned into astrology, like. Okay, so Venus is in Gemini. Oh my God. Okay. Venus is in Gemini. Mars is in Virgo, conjunct the South Node. Explains everything because I had a fraudulent charge on my debit card. And I was just like, where did this come from? Like, I don't even know what's going on. So whenever we have mutable energy is what this is called. Virgo and Gemini, they're mutable. We even have is it 0, but it is still mutable. We have Uranus at 0 of Gemini. Okay. That's all the mutable energy. No. We also have the North Node in Pisces. So whenever we have this mutable energy, it's very scammy. It's very, very scammy. And so to a certain degree, you want to think about staying vigilant about keeping your everything on lock and just stay vigilant about anything you could potentially be scammed on, be it accounts or we're in Mercury retrograde season. So if you're negotiating something, read the fine print 3 or 4 times. Okay. But also the way you can use this Mars and this Venus, Mars is in Virgo with the South Node. It's something about all of us. There's some change we're needing to make. That South Node is like, you got some habits you need to let go of. Something about your lifestyle needs to change. Maybe even something about work and how you're working, how you're showing up to work, your to-do list, that kind of thing. And so you could be coming up with a lot of ideas for improvement because that's what the mutable signs are really good at. Okay, I know what I need to let go of, but this is how I can improve upon it. And with Mars being there, it gives you that kick to actually get it done. Maybe like for somebody who's working on their health and well-being, they see a number and you're like, you know what? I'm tired of getting this bad news about this health metric right here. I'm done. I'm going to do this. And these are the things that I need to get done. It kicks you into gear, right? Or if it's something around your to-do list. I haven't been getting this to-do list done. And now I realize I need to hire a coach and get some accountability. Or I need to call my friend who is my tried and true accountability buddy. And I'm just like, don't let me off the hook with this, that kind of thing. Or maybe there's some conversations because Venus is about conversations. So it might be some conversations that need to be had. It's kind of like there's a problem and we need to talk about it. All right. I will say I do kind of like the notion of creative solutions for this also. I think you could come up with some creative solutions over the next couple of days for Sure. Mm. Are you serious? Yeah, I was so upset. It's interesting how not interesting, but for lack of a better word, it's interesting how spirit works. I have this little app that I put in all these things that I need to remember because sometimes it feels like it's so much to remember. I can't hold everything up here. And last night, for some reason, right at bed, I was in bed and I thought, I'm just gonna go on ahead and start looking at this app because I know as soon as I look at this app, I'm gonna get all these reminders of things I need to do because I feel like I'm not good with my routines right now, actually with that Virgo, right? So I was like, let me it's called the productivity app. So I clicked it, and one of the things it says was check your checking accounts. So I was like, oh yeah, I didn't do that before I went to bed. So let me look at my checking account. And that's when I saw $89, not a lot of money, but still, it ticks me off. I don't care if it's $5. Don't take my money if it's not yours, right? So yeah, Spirit told me to tap that app because who knows? Had I gone to bed, they may have spent more money. But yeah, so annoying. Sorry about that, Latanya. I'm so sorry. I got Mercury in my fifth house. I've gotten into my creative writing this past week. Nice. It helps to keep my mind quiet. Very good, especially with all that air energy that you have, sis. Okay, so new moon in Leo. So that is the other thing that will go into the membership this week. So y'all please join me in the membership. It's a lovely membership. It's super chill, but it definitely gives you that extra boost that gives you, helps you to make it throughout the week. That extra dose of inspiration and wisdom. So we have the new moon in Leo. And I've talked about Leo quite a bit already. So these are the things that we're focusing on. It is a very creative moon. I was going to say the most, but there's other moons that are as creative, but this is a nicely creative moon. So if it's a creative moon and we're planting new seeds at it, y'all come on, let's do it. Um, Leo also is a fixed sign. It has enduring energy. So it's kind of like whatever seeds you plant at Leo, Leo is going to be like, we're going to see this thing to the end. So what do you really want to stick and stay? Now, Leo does require loyalty. It's like you got to be loyal to these seeds that you planted, but the energy of Leo, it can make things happen. All right. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We have the sun trine Saturn. That's nice. And the sun trine Neptune. Whoo! Hallelujah. Woo! We need that. Man, I'm so happy it's Leo season, y'all. I'm so happy because that Saturn and that Neptune has been giving us a run for the money. Um, because Jupiter was interacting with them last month, and it was creating way too much. I was just like, please let us get through this. Um, so because the sun is going into a fire sign, just like where they are, see, they're over here at 1 and 2 degrees of Aries, and the sun is over here at 0 of Leo. That means that they're interacting in a very lovely way. Oh, it's interacting with Uranus too. Woo-hoo! Yay! It's mwah, it's nice. Now, the one caveat is it is opposing Pluto, but we've been here before. I know somebody who has a 0-degree sun, and I've seen this happen multiple times. So it's this new moon is going to be bringing back a little bit of some themes around empowerment and this transformation that allows you, me, we to step into being more authentically who we are. Okay, it's kind of like when something is dirty and it has to be cleaned through fire. I don't even know what that really means, but It's sort of like that. It's sort of this transformation through it's like something's on the outside and you got to get rid of it. And that's going to create a massive transformation. I will say, wow, this moon right here can also bring up some social unrest. Woo! But anywho, I do love that it's interacting positively with this Uranus, along with this Mars, excuse me, the Saturn and this Neptune. That is amazing. So fire supports fire. And I just think it's going to give us a lot of energy. I think people have been tired quite a bit this year. We started out in retrograde season in a major way, and it's been ungrounding and disheveling with a lot of the astrological energy that we have been experiencing this year. And so this can help to make us feel grounded, inspired, and it gives us energy because it's all fire. The sun and Leo, Saturn and Neptune and Aries is all fire. And then this Uranus brings in this energy of excitement. Uranus is energy, but it's electrical. So we have fire with electricity. And then, our minds are going to be hopefully feeling more clear. So that's awesome. That's awesome. I think that this new moon is going to feel freaking amazing. And here's where it talked about the sun opposition Pluto, but yeah, sun opposing Pluto is already happening as soon as the sun went into Leo, it was opposing Pluto. That's that one that I said will make you feel like some transformation is happening. It's actually from the inside out. Now that I think about it, it's transformation from the inside out. And it's to a certain, it's like, where's your weird factor? Can we just do weird? Let's do weird. Do you, be you. Let's see here. I had to cancel my DoorDash account, was going to boycott them anyway. But it was so dumb how it all happened. They said they had to cancel the whole account to get rid of one payment method. That is weird. Interesting. Plant the seeds, the oracle, and I pulled the other day. Nice. Yes. You'll love this as a Saturnian person, as a Capricorn. I think the Capricorns will like this. The Leos, I think, will love it. I'm not sure. Maybe the Aries also. Maybe the Aries. And perhaps Pisces will really feel that new moon in a really good way. Yes. Activated. Did you say weird? That is me entirely. Yeah. Step into your weird factor. Okay, y'all. So I think what I'm going to do today. Let me just make sure I have this. This Lemuria deck, Beyond Lemuria, this deck has been given. It's been very giving. So I think I want to pull from this deck today and just see what we're going to get. So overall, let me just summarize it because I'd like to make sure we have an understanding of the week. It's a little bit of a mixed bag week. Good news is it's in Leo. And so, in a way, it's kind of like nothing's going to keep me down. So today we're in the, what do you call it? It's called waning crescent moon phase. When the waning crescent moon phase. So it really is a little bit of a day of rest as you prepare for the new moon. It's a passive day. And then when we get to the new moon day, it's an active day. There's passive moon phases and active moon phases. And the passive moon phases are more introverted, and you can use them to game plan, retool, that kind of thing. rest, regenerate. And then when we get to the active phase, that's when we'll start feeling ourselves really feeling like I want to, get up and get going. So yeah, plant those seeds tomorrow. Okay, let's uh okay, I'll do 3. I'll do 3 cards. I will do 3. Let's see what kind of discussion this sparks. And what lessons come through for us for this week. I'm not looking at the cards, so I don't know what they say, and we shall see. Okay, this is a very interesting looking card, Internal Explorer. I'm not sure if I've ever pulled this one before, so that's interesting. Oh, this is interesting. Furred and feathered friends. Interestingly, last night, me and the a.k.a. ladies were talking about animals a little bit. Although the one I was talking about the most, that we brought up the most, was the frog, but whatever. And then this one is called Air. No, yeah, it's Air for Paradigm Shift. All right. So Internal Explorer. That looks a little watery, but let's just see what it has for us for this week. Y'all know these. I love doing these readings because they wow us. Interestingly, this one is called Flow State, Accessing Infinite Information by Going Within, Wisdom from the Collective Consciousness, Theta Waves, Channeling. I do think this is a week of channeling. Breaking free from limiting intellect, creative boldness, being guided by the divine spark. That sounds a little Leo-ish. And this card also says, you already hold the keys. When we stop looking outside of ourselves and surrender to a soft inner focus, we have access to unlimited information and resources. Who believes that? Because I do. I think it's true. When we stop thinking about the glass ceiling of our intellect, we have access to multidimensional wisdom from the collective consciousness. One thing I will say is that Leo is the astrological spiritual new year. So maybe that's the energy that we are connecting to, these wise ancestors. Have you ever felt in total flow? Perhaps when speaking about something profound that you have total faith in, you have heard your words articulately unfold. At other times, when you have doubt, you must watch your words and they come out disjointed, only hinting at what you're trying to say. Um, so when in deep flow state, it can seem as if something else is guiding us, maybe our higher self. This person is talking about the flow state that she gets in as an artist. So I want you to be thinking about that. Now that's good for Leo. Leo, I never thought about that. Leo, because we're in touch with something that is inside of us, it is our gifts and our talents. I do call it my muse. It feels like there are times when a switch gets clicked on inside of me and it's just this energy is flowing through and it comes out through my mouth, or I get this amazing idea. Now, let me tell you, that's one of the things that I love. About being a human. Oh my gosh, when that happens and it feels so, so good. Okay. So, what this says is you're invited to explore the state of flow. This card is also a reminder that you are an infinitely amazing being who can access collective consciousness, especially when you surrender some control over the greater process or get out of your own way. And honestly, that is that sun in Leo. And y'all remember we talked about Pluto in Aquarius? This is definitely Sun and Pluto. But the one thing that I loved here that she wrote is, this is a reminder that you are an infinitely amazing being, because Leo is about being proud. Leo is about that. Y'all think about the Leos that we know. The Leos that we know are kind of, when you really talk to a Leo and you get to know them, they're kind of like, yeah, I kind of got it going on. I'm all that. I really am. But that's Leo. Leo's supposed to be like that. Leo is about confidence. So that's what I want you to walk in, right? You have the permission you felt you need. Excuse me. Go within and explore. Wonderful gifts are waiting for you. So that's what I have. I'm loving this card too, Jamin. Oh, good. You have this deck too. Lovely. Thank you. Yeah, it is really a beautiful deck. And I love that it's like beings. Yes, her skin tone is heavenly. Beautiful spirit. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So it's gonna be interesting when we get to this air energy. I'm curious because that one was, I don't know, it was a little fluid and was kind of like get into flow and not just be thinking about the intellect. So we're gonna see. There must be some balance between the two. Okay, so this one says furried and feathered friends. Okay. So this one is gonna challenge me because y'all will see why. It says furred and feathered friends, ethical consumptions, making a difference through our food choices, caring for all beings, animals, environmental awareness, doing the best we can. Animal spirit guides. Okay, so it says animals are intuitive and sacred beings that walk the earth beside us. They are the wisdom keepers of earth traditions and some of our most loving companions. And I believe that 100%. I remember the other day I was driving somewhere and I was just like, there's certain Orisha songs I'm gonna sing, and then there's just certain Orisha songs I'm not gonna sing. I'll have to find a Shango song that matches me because it's such a powerful energy. And in that moment, I was like, yeah, I probably am just not solo gonna be singing any Shango song. And in that moment, a hawk swooped down in front of my car. I was like, well, okay. Okay, Shango, I see you. Okay. Much respect. You know, when we have those kinds of things happen, or we keep seeing the same animal, and then we look up what's the animal totem, and it's exactly the message that we need, we give thanks for these animals. They have much to teach us, and yet the way some species is treated is quite unbelievable. As we become more empathic and our sense of compassion expands beyond that of our own family and community sphere, we start to see other beings and the quality of their lives as interconnected and equal. We may be inspired to align our actions with our compassion to minimize the harm we do to the planet and all her inhabitants. Trying to think, is there anything in the astrology that is speaking to that? Well, I guess we have uh what is that called? Mars in Virgo. Oh, you know what? Virgo is the sign of pets. She's not really just talking pets, but you know, Virgo is actually a very compassionate sign. It is very compassionate. And it likes helping beings that can't give anything in return, right? To include pets. As humans are evolving and moving toward lighter consciousness, our bodies may struggle to digest what was once healthy and fortifying. Also, when we are doing the work spiritually, we may feel more sensitive to things that don't fit with our values. When we take on the energy of a product that has suffering imbued in it, no matter how good it tastes or how organic it is, we may notice a lowering of our vibration as it challenges our spiritual integrity. And I could not disagree more. This is just an opinion. I just have to say it, y'all. I've been down the vegan vegetarian path. I believe that it has its place, but I don't believe this is not how humans were propagated. And I think that it's terrible that people feel bad that they're doing what humans have always done. If people make the choice to not eat animals for that reason, I have zero issues with it. But to the part of the elitism that's embedded in how people eat is thinking, well, if I eat in this way, no matter what it is, is elitism and all these different diets and lifestyles or whatever you want to call them, or however you want to call them, um, is elitism. I'm more spiritual than you because I don't eat meat is a lie. All right. And it's just not what was taught. Now, maybe if people are going through some spiritual process or something like that, okay, you're going to be eating light. I get it. I really do. But there's no proof that the ancients didn't eat meat and that's what made them so special. So that's why I said when I saw this one, I was like, I'm gonna disagree. If you are a vegetarian or a vegan, that is perfect. But there's no diet that makes anybody more spiritual. I don't think that, as a matter of fact, veganism made me more sensitive in the sense that I could not control my emotions because it's just so many carbs. And at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's a diet of carbs. And what do carbs affect? Emotions. And I was on the verge of what do you call that? Pre-diabetes. I was in a pre-diabetic range. And so it's just like it doesn't work. It does not. It does not make people more spiritual. All right. So y'all can see that's a little bit of a trigger point, but no judgment. I just have to say it because there is a lot of elitism in the spiritual space around this. And so she has made her point, and I can assure you when she gets to be older, she might change it. May not, but let me not say I assure you. I think she could potentially change it as she gets older. Okay. And she does say this: there's not one way of living and eating that everyone should adopt. This message is about doing the best we can within our circumstances. Let me see here. And I do believe that if we're going to eat meat, we should do it in a way that's more sustainable, more natural, is what I mean. It's like, can we buy meat where the animals were raised like more humanely, I guess is what I'll say. Okay. So look at how you choose to nourish your body and your ethics and reasoning surrounding your food choices. And a lot of times people focus on, look, this is so Mars in Virgo. This just hit me. This is so Mars in Virgo. ah, but to me, it's unethical almost in terms of the food industry, not you and me. It's unethical the food that we have here in the United States. All this processed food is designed to make us addicted to processed food. To me, that's the bigger problem versus people eating meat. So we need to be making sure everything that we look at, because even the processed food, I can't do a lot of it. It's so some days I'm like, I miss those days, but do I really? I guess I don't, because I should not have been eating all that food anyway. So this card is really asking us to be focused on that Mars in Virgo. And also working with our animal totems, listening to the wisdom of animals and taking in the messages. So be aware of the messages that are coming in from the animals this week. Okay. Let me go back. I don't know where I started. No, I have a dog already. That's all I can do. Let's see here. Where are we? Where did I stop? Okay, so you pulled the same one last night. Flow state. Keep the channel clear. Inner knowing. Yes, yes, yes. Let me tell y'all something. I think more people should be prescribed pets. I really do. Because they just make life better. They just do. More people should, if you got depression and anxiety, get a pet. I'm not really a dog person, but I have a dog. I have a dog, Christina, already. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Ah. My kitties have been my furry saviors this year. See, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Shango, I said, well, I guess I better learn a Shango song. Yes, Virgos, I love Virgos. I really do. They get such a bad reputation, but Virgos are salt of the earth, in my opinion. Virgos and Capricorns, they see, this is the thing about Virgos and Capricorns. People will complain about them. And then when they were like, you know what, I ain't helping nobody, I'm not doing nothing. Everybody's like, where's the Capricorns and the Virgos? I can't get anything done. It's like you love them when you miss them. You don't realize your water till the well runs dry. But salt of the earth, both of those signs. The thing about Virgo and Capricorn is it's like, I'm just not going to let you off. No, you said you were going to do A, B, C, and D, and doggone it, we're going to get it done. Okay. The one Virgo I was close to was very much the biggest humanitarian I ever knew. They care. Sometimes it's kind of like you got to snap the Virgos out of, it's like, hey, wake up. You helping too many people right now. My youngest Virgo has 9 animals. Wow. 7 cats, 2 dogs, and a lizard. Whoo. That's a Virgo. That's all I got, High Priestess. That's a true Virgo. I've cut back a lot on animal products. Not eliminated because my body needs a little bit, but I have cut back. Yes. Yes. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. So much stuff I used to just believe in wholeheartedly. It's kind of like I don't really know if this is true or not. So I'm just saying I'm gonna call this pseudoscience. I'm gonna call it what I think it really is. But it's a little bit of something to it. The eat right for your blood type, I found to be true. Because when I found that book, I was a vegetarian and it was talking about you're supposed to be eating meat. And I'm like, I don't care what this book says. And look at me now. I don't believe in carnivores. I think carnivores are typically ex-vegans, and it seems like that those two communities are at war. If I was to call myself anything, I would say paleo is probably the one I do the best with. But yeah, what was I telling you? Anywho, yeah. I mean, I've been down this path. I have been to a certain degree, y'all. I'll be transparent with you. I've been wounded by going down that vegan path because when you give up being a vegan, then people will be dogging you out. You lose friends. If you talk to people who are vegan, a lot of them, like once they started eating meat, it was like they got attacked by other vegans. And these are sometimes vegan influencers. Don't get me wrong. They probably deserve to be attacked. Just I don't know. They didn't deserve that. But anywho, and feeling like a failure for years after I gave it up. I had 2 kids. My body was just like, it was like my body made me eat it. And I remember when my first son was born, I'm not gonna say he was a vegan, because of course I was breastfeeding him. And I'm sure I had some dairy in there or whatever. But he had nosebleeds all the time. And my mother-in-law, I would take him over to stay at my mother-in-law's house whenever I would go to do substitute teaching. And one day I figured out, oh, she's feeding him meat and eggs and all kinds of stuff. I think he probably did. I didn't mind giving him eggs. And so in order to get him, because I didn't want him eating pork and beef, which now I'm not against beef. Again, it's just all this indoctrination that I got around eating. I read all these books and it was like beef is bad, and I'm not even going to say pork is bad, but I'm not a pork person, never will be a pork person. It's just not who I am. I'm actually not even a beef person. I actually do readings for myself to figure out how should I eat. And so, but at this point in time, I didn't know anything about readings. But I had read all these books, and I was just totally bought into vegetarian veganism. It was not so vegan back in the day, plant-based. None of that was going on. It was just vegetarian. It was just kind of like a catch-all term, but it was always this push to get honey out your diet, get eggs out your diet, cheese, all of that, you know. So I was all in. And in order to get my mother-in-law to only give him poultry and fish, I was like, don't give him pork and beef, but you can give him chicken, you can give him turkey, you can give him fish. That way, because she was just like, I don't care what you say. I'm gonna give him what he want, what I want to give him when he comes to my house. Do y'all know what happened? As soon as my son started eating meat on a regular basis, and I just started feeding it to him too on a regular basis, that nosebleed went away and never came back. And that's when I said, nobody can tell me veganism is for everybody. It's not. And that son actually has grown up. He's a little bit better now, but he actually kind of grew up to not really be into fruits and vegetables, you know? Um, and then, you know, I got pregnant with my second son 2 years. Well, let me see here. Yeah, my older son was 2 when I got pregnant with my second son. And I was still doing the vegetarian vegan thing. I was always kind of like leaning towards veganism, but if I needed some eggs or something like that, I would eat them. And as soon as I got pregnant, I got hungry for real. And I remember being excessively hungry with my older son. Baby, my son, I had bought him a fish fillet, and I had not eaten meat, fish, nothing in like 8 years. I said, "You ain't gonna eat it," because he refused to eat him. He's kind of picky. I said, "I'm so hungry right now." I ate that fish fillet, and I was like, "Oh, it's so good. I'm never going back." I had planned on, you know, like giving up meat and fish and everything after I had my second son, and then I just kept saying, "Okay." I said, "Okay, I'm gonna buy this one." It was a turkey sandwich. I can't remember the restaurant. Maybe it was Fazoli's. For some reason, I love this restaurant called Fazoli's. And I was like, I'm gonna just buy one more turkey sandwich and then I'm gonna become a vegetarian. And I was like, use a lie. This is not how people step into vegetarianism. They just do it. And that's when I just said, forget it. I had my son in 2003. Maybe at most that was 2004. I still felt guilty even in 2017 that I never returned back to veganism. And it was like every time I would eat a meal that had no meat, and y'all, I've always been leaning more towards eating whole foods. I've had my times where I was not doing that, but I am always, you know, working to eat whole foods. So this is not me eating super junky, even though at the time I was struggling a little bit with sugar addiction. Um, but whenever I would eat in my late 40s, whenever I would eat a meal that had no meat in it, my weight would balloon up, like boom, go up 2, 3 pounds overnight. And I'm like, what in the world? And then every time I would minimize the carbs and increase the animal protein because I've never been able to do the keto. Keto don't work for me. That's another one that I think is a little bit elitist and fanatic. I think it has its place short term. Long term, don't nobody need to be eating keto, in my opinion. But anywho, I increased that animal protein, weight would just naturally float back down. So one day, I don't know, y'all, let me tell y'all something, especially those who are younger than me. I have figured out the 40s is actually a decade of healing. It's one of the best decades of our lives, in my opinion, and it's one of the hardest decades of our lives because we are more mature. To me, we're the seniors of the young people, but then we're like the babies, literally. The 40s is like the babies of the older adults. Like even in my 50s, I'm still looked at as like a teenager. I don't get no credit. You know, even the 60 pluses tell me, girl, you're young. So 40s is like the sweet spot. But then things change. There's like this preparation for you becoming a more mature person. And, it's just like a reckoning what happened. And that happened in multiple ways when I was in my 40s. And for some reason, when I was 47, I found astrology. And also, I found these videos that talked about people who had been vegan and what happened to them and made them have to stop being vegan. And I was just like, this is me. Here I am thinking I suck when honestly, it short term, I think it did a lot of good things for me, but I just went way too long. And I even after I became I started eating meat again, a omnivore. Um, I still minimize the animal protein. I never did with, I would never eat a lot. I always kind of was like, ooh, meat's kind of gross or whatever. Um, and and so I wasn't eating a lot of meat anyway. But then I started watching, and so it was like keeping some of the problems that I had from veganism compounded. And I watched all these videos, and I was like, I did not realize how much guilt I've been carrying about not returning to veganism, right? It's not so much about veganism. It'll be whatever it is for you, but there's something about the 40s that does that for you. And that was one of the things that just came out. And I was going through perimenopause, and life was hard. And I was like, I don't care about nothing but feeling better. I'm gonna eat that in a way like when it calms me down, that's how I'm gonna eat. And then the 50s is a little bit of that too. Y'all know I've been talking about looking at cults. I used to be a part of, I used to love MLMs, Advocare. I still have my Avon account. I don't sell to anybody, but I just can't give it up. What else? Advocare, Avon, I don't know, other things. Y'all know what MLMs are and how culty those are. And then didn't realize, and I think I told y'all about this book, reading how much MLMs have impacted the government of the United States of America and how much right-wing politics is baked in to so many of these MLMs. So my 50s has been like, oh my God, I have been cult adjacent for years. This is what it means to get older. This is what it means to get older. It's like, oh, I got to get some stuff in balance. Elitism is exactly the word. Somehow being vegan or not eating animals becomes the gold medal for spiritual awareness. And it's just not true. Mm-mm. Most indigenous give great thanks for the sacrifice that animals gave for their people. To me, that's what matters the most. And see, when we think about the laws of Ma'at is going to be like, there's not much about those 42 laws of Ma'at that I remember because they're kind of dated for the people who lived back then. But one of the ones I love was eat only your fair share. Eat only your fair share. So do I need to be like pigging out? No, I need to eat just what I need in order to survive. And the crazy part about it too is the animals are eating each other. I see the bird catching the little worms to feed to their little babies. We see the lions, the lionesses chasing down the gazelle. I mean, it's like animals don't give a damn. If they want to eat, we see cats, all the cat ladies on here. Those cats will go out there and hunt and then have the nerve to bring it back and drop the little mouse or bird or whatever it called at the front door. It's like this is a lesson, not so much to judge people about their eating choices as it's more of like everyone's just making an opinion. Let me give y'all something else. Leo is about stories. What stories are you telling yourself? We are story making machines. And we've just made up narratives. And then there's the collective. Talk about, this one was talking about the collective consciousness. Talk about the collective creating stories. And not because we're bad people, but because we're humans. And this is what it means to be a human. There are some stories that the collective has sold us, and it's like, ooh, that sounds good. To me, initially, being a vegan was beautiful. It was like the best thing I could do. Um, and someone was sharing this in the collective, around this is what it is. I had a friend who turned me on to it. And I was like, this is awesome. And I just bought into that. That's all we're doing. I have bought into omnivore. The omnivore lifestyle is perfect for me. It's it's just one that I think is a good one. I had one story before, now I have a new story. All right. So much of what we think spiritual awakening and awareness. How many of y'all done seen that old mama? For me in the Black community, that big mama sitting on the porch, everybody goes to her, everybody talks to her. There's not a more wise person on the face of the planet. She ain't got no real education, but she's wise and she eats meat. We can never say, and that woman is a prayer warrior. I'm describing the Black big mama. Y'all can tell me what y'all's big mamas look like, or these wise women that I'm talking about. But the one I'm thinking about is that old Black woman, and she's sitting around and she pray all day long for everybody. She's not less spiritually aware than me because of whatever, or whatever this thought of this, spiritual elitism, and there's other things too that people do with this spiritual elitism that is one of the reasons I do my best to show up the way that I show up, humble. Because I'm tired of the elitism. I don't want no parts of it. We all human. We all gonna make mistakes. We all got our own little stuff that we dealing with. And when we start making it like we're bigger than life, like we have just achieved something that is so great and so grand, that's when I'm thinking, I don't know about you. Because the person who is spiritually aware is gonna walk with humility. The person who is walking, let's talk Mars with the South Node in Virgo. The person who is most spiritually evolved is here to be of service. They're here saying, how can I help? They're never above helping and doing things for people. They're not trying to be this diva, devo, sitting up high, looking down low on all the little spiritual people that just haven't awakened yet, and that, they're just not there yet. So spiritual awareness is very individual, and the way it manifests is going to be unique to each person. Not everybody is, going to do what I do. I'm not more spiritually aware and awake than you all. When I listen to you all talk, I think, oh, it's a lot of times I'm like, that was good. I needed to hear that. I never want to be the person in the room where it's just like I have nothing to learn, and I'm the only one that has all of this wisdom and this knowledge. Never. But the way you come through might be through, say for instance, with Still Learning. She makes these beautiful art pieces. I could never make that art that she makes, and y'all should be in my community. You find it at the bottom of my email list if you want to come in. But every now and again, her name is Tasha in the group. She'll come in and she'll show us the art that she's working on. And it's spiritually aware and awake. And it's just like, I could never in my whole entire life, and all my alleged spiritual awareness and awakeness, do what she did. And all of y'all have something like that. That's Leo. That's Leo. Okay. To me, to be spiritually aware and spiritually awake, I have balance in my life. I'm kind. I'm constantly, one of the things that I made a audio recording the other day for the a.k.a. sisters, and one of the things I talked about is the Odu constantly talk about look in the mirror. You must do critical self-analysis on a regular basis, daily. Spiritually awake and aware people, that's what they're doing. They're looking in that mirror and they're like, okay, let me see what's there. Okay, that's good. I like that. Oh, we got to work on this. Okay. That's the best thing we can do. And then, yeah, we need to eat healthy. Being healthy and eating healthy and working the body and eating in moderation, even working out in moderation, that is actually a part of spiritual growth also. And I think that ultimately, especially when it comes to pets, um, the ability to take care of a pet, and that is a very spiritual thing because they give us love in return, but it takes a lot to care for these pets. Now, the animals out in the wild, we gotta be respectful. We gotta be respectful. Like, let them have their wildlife. Let's not cut it down and all that kind of good stuff as much as possible. But I don't know. We gotta walk with caution with some of the wild animals like lions and tigers and all that. Like so much ritual surrounding what animals gave their society. Ooh, that's beautiful. When I was raw vegan, I went through raw vegan. I went through so much. Thank the goddess for the journey. I was raw vegan. That was hard. Literally, let me tell y'all, if y'all ever do raw veganism for a while, do it for a month. You feel like you're in Lemuria. You don't even feel like you are a part of this world. It seems like a different reality. Let me tell you, now that might take you into some spiritual, like some going out there in spirituality. Um, Actually, I'm just more into fasting now. But raw veganism, that was some hard work too. Yes, it's good to acknowledge it. My husband just got a bunch of blood work. He's pre-diabetic now. We got to redo the cooking processes. So yeah, this is good. Mars and Virgo. That's good for you all right now. Spiritual goddess is so hard to avoid pre-diabetes. I was pre-diabetic by the age of 20. Sometimes it's in the genetics. Yep, I got into pre-diabetes and I was like, oh no, I didn't start young. So I was like, we got to get this under control. Yep. Sugar is y'all's kryptonite. Sugar is, ooh. I was thinking about taboos in Ifa and how sometimes I'll just be honest. I'll tell y'all where I struggle with stuff. Um, I think we should always at least be open to asking some questions. Maybe we get the answers, maybe we don't get the answers, but sometimes the taboos in Ifa, again, it feels like they represent what was going on back in the day. And I'm like, will people really like this taboo just because I'm Omo Yemoja? Doesn't mean, in my opinion, and I'm not fighting. I'm not, like whatever people do, that's what they do within this tradition. But just because I'm Yemoja shouldn't, I don't think it should mean I automatically should just not eat certain foods. Um, but I do think that what's taboo, it'll be showing in your life. And what's taboo for Tyra? Sugar. Because that sugar was taking me out. And now I'm just at a place now where, occasionally I'll eat something like if it's for a special occasion or whatever. But for the most part, I've gotten rid of sugar. I don't even really eat fruits. I can do apples, sometimes a little melon, but for the most part, my body is showing me sugar's taboo. You'll figure out your taboos. So if sugar's your kryptonite, if y'all can make it like, for me, the taboo when there's a taboo food, a spiritual taboo food, one of the things that is said about that is it weakens you when you eat that taboo food. But the other part is the taboo food should be eaten like as a special spiritual ceremony or whatever to connect with the Orisha. Um, so it's kind of like how can you trick yourself into maybe saying, okay, spiritually, this is what we need to do, or whatever it is. Like for me, what got me there? Oh, I had a lot of dental work that cost a lot of money. And I could tell that I was like, I'm headed to being pre-diabetic if I don't get off of this. And then the other thing is I got pissed off that's why I said, to me, the biggest sin is processed foods in this culture. The way that these processed foods are created to make us addicted, and to, just that, like, all this science into how do we keep them eating this food is ridiculous. They're not in the business of helping us have food. They're in the business of maximizing profits. And so I just got pissed. I was like, they put sugar in everything. No wonder we so addicted to sugar. We're not actually really addicted. It's just in everything, and then it makes you addicted, right? So let's see here. I get that. Let me tell you, just because I have given up sugar, and when I say given up sugar, like, I put like a little teaspoon in this or whatever. Um, but yeah, when I do get it, I'm like, oh, this is why I don't eat sugar, because it's so addictive. Ah. Y'all, and my dog. This morning I told him, because what I was saying in the recording for the Eleke ladies was, your Iwa Pele, good character, is revealed in ways that we don't always think. A lot of times, most of us are very ethical people, but we still have there's little compromised places, and it's like you got to take that time to really look and see where you compromised in your character. And I said, I'm compromised when it comes to my dog, because I didn't ask for the dog. And I knew as soon as we got the dog, I was going to be in charge of that dog. My kids have graduated and gone on with their lives. They don't even live here anymore. I was taking care of the dog before they left. Ain't nobody talked about, hey, can we have the dog? Nothing. They come home, they love seeing their dog. But who's taking care of it? Now, my husband will take the dog out. He helps a little bit, but for the most part, everybody knows I take care of the dog. And yeah, it's like, you know what? I feel like I'm paying back a karmic debt. I feel like I'm paying back a karmic debt. And I told the dog this morning when he was bugging me to go outside, said, you trying to make me lose my good character, but I'm not gonna let you. I'm not gonna. He's the sweetest dog. I'm not gonna lie. My dog, I have a very, very good dog. He's smart. He's a Sagittarius, very, very smart, fun loving. And I don't know what I do. If my dog, once my dog, it's time for my dog to cross that rainbow bridge. Trust me, I'm gonna be on the floor. Oh, kittens. Nice. Nice. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, Capricorns and Virgos. Woohoo. Yes, Capricorn. Ayoka is like, I'm double trouble, baby. Capricorn and Virgo. But I'm telling you, life is not right. Life is not right. Christina is cracking me up. I do think that dairy is a huge hit to the immune system, builds up too much mucus. Maybe. I'll never forget. I think that too much of anything in the system. That's why I love ma'at. Eat only your fair share. You just need to eat what your body needs in order to survive. And most of us, because we live in a culture that promotes eating a lot of food, that's the biggest problem. That actually is the biggest issue. But it's been many cultures that needed milk. Now, where the milk comes from, which animal I think that the more we can eat in a holistic way, and it's like, well, I'm not trying to drink raw milk. I'm not actually a milk person. I'm a little bit of a dairy person, but I don't need a lot of dairy either. But if we're going to do it, it needs to be, I believe, what makes it react better for us is when we are getting it in a way that's more natural and just not all this mass produced. That's the biggest issue. And I think that's why it makes people go extreme in the way that they eat, because the US diet is so terrible. Now, I don't know about other places. I ain't gonna lie. When I was in England, I was like, this food is markedly better. I had to put a lot of salt on it, but that food was markedly better. When I was in Dominican Republic, everything just seemed so much more fresh. Even down in Hawaii, everything just seemed fresher for some reason. Um, to me, that's really the biggest issue that we have. That and we just eat way too much. But I'll never forget, and it was probably during the time I was healing from veganism. Um, this lady, I think she was doing veganism and avoiding dairy. She was having some type of health problem, and she went to a Vedic practitioner, a Vedic doctor, or something like that. And he was like, "You need to eat yogurt. You need to eat yogurt." And she was shocked that that had come up because, she was avoiding dairy. So, yeah, I think that some people can't even eat dairy. But yeah, I think it's all relative. It's all relative. The last time I felt good was when I was in PR. I was going to say Puerto Rico. I did like the food in Puerto Rico also. Definitely. We have all the talk about eating this morning. I love it. Food banks getting fresh produce. Love it. Ah, I love it, Shannon. I'm looking at your story. Y'all remember Fazoli's? Do you know there's still a Fazoli's here? I passed by the other day. I said, "You're kidding me. We still have a Fazoli's in Murfreesboro? Wow." Ah, okay, fish. Ah, I'm loving all of the stories about cooking or not cooking. Appalachian style. Wow. Ah. See, I love this right here. I'm not anti-vegan. I'm not. I'm anti-vegan for Tyra, but for everybody else, I'm not anti-vegan. This is great. Vegetarian because that's what I could do in that moment. Love it. Wealth Rising, Keita May, how are you, Queen? Good to see you. I'm really behind on comments. Oh, we help you be self-aware. Love it. I love how y'all are talking to each other and cheering each other on. Mm. Dogs are a lot of work. That's why I like cats. I'm like, find the litter box, drop the cat in the litter box. We're good. We're good. But the other thing is too, cats got to go outside. Mhm. Okay. Hey, Felicia. I made it to the end. I made it to the end. And we still have one more card to read, y'all. We still have one more card. Okay. So, air paradigm shift. Air paradigm shift. All right. So, an innovative way of existing. Hmm. New earth energies, inspiring others, fresh air, flying higher than you have before, more expansive perspectives, consciousness shift. I feel like we've already been doing this. We are in a time of great change, and the speed of our evolution is increasing exponentially. With our advancing technology and ability to communicate, more knowledge and power are available to us as individuals than we've had for centuries. There are more platforms where we can share this information. We have the ability to connect with the tribes who are making a difference, to connect with the web of change where our lights unite and increase. Information that was inaccessible, taboo, or shrouded in mystery or initiation, especially in the healing arts, is now available. I do love that. We can engage many tools as we build energetic sovereignty and create pockets where we can choose to make big changes in our communities. So that's that Aquarius type of energy. Aquarius is about um, the greater community, and a lot of times it does want to make some type of change. It wants to be progressive. It wants to make progress. We can inspire others, connect the dots, and receive and share the knowledge and tools needed for transformation. As we wake up, we can't help but awaken those around us. It may start with an inquiry on what this fresh, new, and long awaited breath is all about. Kind of makes me wonder what change is going to happen, what awakening is going to happen over this next week. An expansive being holds a tiny heart seedling. When the foundations we build on come from a place of love over fear, we will see huge positive changes in the world. We can start with ourselves. Now, I will say Leo is about the self. Yeah. Start with the self. Communication, themes in this card: communication, sharing wisdom, the breath of life, movement, faith, winged helpers, intention, inspiration, change. So I just think those are going to be themes over this next week. Okay, Felicia. Yeah, so we've had a good discussion today. I just want to say for the record, I do not judge anybody by how they eat. I got to get my own self together. I can't talk about nobody. All right. I just had to say what I needed to say. That because somebody is eating meat doesn't make them less spiritual than people who don't. And at the end of the day, we all need to just be making the choices about what it is that we need to do, right? Because there are some days where maybe I will lean a little bit more. It's like, for some reason, on days that I dance, I have deep cravings for something, for carbs. I'm gonna say carbs. It feels like sugar, but I can't do it. But I really will some days be like, I think I depleted myself or something like that, and I'm gonna eat more carbs. So, I just need to be super clear. I'm not bashing anybody or anything because, I know this can be such a sensitive topic, and I think it shouldn't be a sensitive topic. I think everybody should just eat in a way that their body is leading, guiding them, and directing them. I'm going to tell y'all the gift of that whole journey that I went through from, the way I was raised up in my childhood. When I was at Spelman, that's when I gave up pork and beef. And then when I was in grad school and I started hanging out with people who were vegans, that's when I got into that. And then, I told y'all I had my second baby and I was just like, I got to eat meat. I got to eat meat and fish. And then the subsequent years of really and truly, once I became a mom, I kind of got off. I've always been into health and wellness ever since I was a little girl, but it was a struggle after I became a mom. And then going into perimenopause and thinking to myself, I've got to fight for my life. Something is wrong with me. And I just felt so out of balance. I was overworking. I've always been an overworkouter. I will work out. I will work out a lot. So I was teaching a lot of dance and fitness classes at that time. And like I said, it was 47 is when I was like, I'm done with sugar. So I was even grappling with sugar addiction during that time. And because of perimenopause, that's what made also I had adrenal fatigue syndrome. And it was like there was no energy at the top of the day, but I would wake up right around 3:00. I'd be raring to go. And I have never been that person. I've always been a morning person. And I just started reading all these books learning all of these different things. And I became educated on hormones. It's like eat to keep insulin low. That's really what guided my eating, and it's what guides it today. What keeps insulin low? When I was going through perimenopause, those hormones there, they're doing all kinds of wild, wacky stuff. So it's kind of like, what is it that I can do to eat in a way so it doesn't make the way those hormones are? It's like the hormones are decreasing, the estrogen or progesterone are decreasing, but for me, it made me feel off center. And so it was like, what do I need to do to minimize that? And it all became around hormones. When I got into pre-diabetic range, I was like, I'm only eating based on hormonally what is working for my body. And I wish that more people knew about this. There's a book called Woman Code. The last name is Vitti, Vitti. Now, I have not read this book. Man, damn. I found that book around the time I was 47. I'm like, I'm almost 10 years out from that. I'm 55 now. I'm like, whoo. Anywho, that was a squirrel. That's a book that I'm like, every woman needs to read this book. She doesn't just talk about estrogen and progesterone, and she doesn't hyper focus on insulin, but that was the book that made me realize, okay, there's something I'm missing, and it's called understanding hormones. And once I began to do that, then it's just kind of like, okay, that actually is what dictates what I do. So for me, it's every way that we eat is a path to self-discovery. The worst thing you can do is listen to people outside yourself tell you what to do. Now, I believe in taking their counsel in, because I had to do that because I didn't actually really know anything. There's a lady who I found, Dr. Gabrielle Lyons, Lyons, I think it's her last name. And she was the one who was like, women don't eat enough animal protein. You should triple the amount of animal protein. I was like, really? She was like, oh, yeah. And I was like, I feel like crap. I don't have nothing to lose. It's not what I'm used to, but I'm going to do it. And it was like the last thing I needed to do to get myself balanced outside of intermittent fasting. For me, intermittent fasting has changed my life. But guess what, y'all? It's a journey. I know people who try intermittent fasting for whatever reason. Now we all need to close the kitchen door at some point. We need to close that kitchen door. I believe that the body does need a break from eating. And I believe we want to try to stretch it out as much as we possibly can, even if it's you just stop eating at 6 or 7, give the body a break from food out and beverage outside of water. And there's different ways to do the fasting piece or whatever. That what I just said is very simplistic, but outside of water, we just need to close the door and don't eat. Give the body a break. All right. But ultimately, the journey to what you're eating or whatever, it needs to be to hear what other people say, and then you test it in your body. And if it works, then it works. And the thing for women is it might work for you when you're 20, but what worked for you when you were 20 may not work for you when you're 30. And therefore, you have to go back into another season of testing. You want to get on that journey of hearing. See, this is one thing that I will say I have going for me. I will listen to everybody. I will listen to what everybody says about these are the things that make up healthy eating. These are the things that you need to consider around eating. I literally will listen to everybody. That's how I know about all these different ways of eating, is I've listened to everybody and I've tried it all out. I've tested it. And, I've benefited in that. There was a time when I was doubled down on vegetarianism and veganism. I'm a little doubled down on eating whole foods. I am a little bit doubled down. We should try to eat as natural as possible, in my opinion. But in general, outside of that, it's just like I'm gonna listen to everything and everybody, because for me, the ultimate is, how do I feel in my body? The ultimate is, if I decide I don't want to eat something, I should be able to say, no, I'm not eating it. I should be able to do that. And I was having problems with that. Or I should be able to lose weight. When I say I'm ready to lose weight, I should just be able to make the changes and the shifts that I need to make, listen to my body, and I should be able to do that. Um, and where there are the challenges, yes, sometimes we do have things going on with our bodies that it's like, no, I really do need to get some medical attention, or I need to set up a healing consultation. I believe that we carry trauma on our bodies and emotions on our bodies and things like that. We will need help at times. We really will. But ultimately, it has to be, I'm going to do everything I need to do in order to have health and well-being in my body. And I'm willing to listen to people. And then the ultimate right here, listen to this. It will let you know. All right. Mhm. I intentionally fast. Some days I'm not hungry and at all. And the thought of eating alone makes me feel sick. You got something Geminian, right? I get a little bit jealous. Geminians actually can be very emotional eaters, but by the same token, my son is a Gemini, and he's always been a natural faster. And once I realized that, I said to him, "Let me explain something to you, son. No matter what, don't you ever give that part of yourself up." So you're giving me hope that he won't give that up, because he'll tell me. He said, "Sometimes, Mom, if I smell something that's baked, it just triggers something in my mind, and immediately I feel full, and I may have not eaten anything." And all I can say to him is, "I'm so jealous. When I smell those baked goods, baby, give me that bread." I don't eat a whole bunch of bread. I just can't. Bread actually started tearing up my stomach. It would just make my stomach hurt so badly. Yes, do what works for you. Do what works. Listen to your body, Felicia. Exactly. Mm. We talk about being in harmony. How many of us are in harmony with our bodies? I never said that before, y'all. Am I in harmony with my body? Hmm. After I felt a little pain right here, I'm like, maybe not. Ah, that was a okay. So Keita May is like a spiritual goddess. I'm jealous. Moon. Okay. I thought so. Something about Geminis. Something about Geminis. I be forgetting. I have folks in my house and I'd be like, ah, damn, they need to eat her. I know people like that though. Sometimes I kind of get in that mode when I get super creative. Now, I will say when I get out into social settings and I'm really enjoying the company, I won't think nothing about eating because I'm too busy talking and chatting and having a good time. That I choose not to eat, Felicia. I'm with you. I choose not to eat. I rarely forget to eat. Rarely. Okay, Queens. Whoo, this has been great. So y'all know I'm a softie. I just don't want any of the vegans to think I don't believe in you or I'm critical of you or I'm not that way at all. This is not anti-vegan. This is not anti what's the other one I said? Carnivore. I'm not bashing the carnivores. I'm gonna tell y'all though, if y'all watch the vegans and the carnivores, it's you don't even need reality TV, okay? Watch the carnivores go after the vegans. They are a hot stinking mess. The carnivores are a mess. They crack me up. And they all used to be vegan, I think. Um, but yeah, I'm not putting anybody down. Keto, if you love keto, that's great. If you have some long-term way of eating, that is, I honor it. I honor it. So yeah. Anywho, thank y'all. I appreciate you all. We're gonna go ahead and sign off. I want y'all to make sure y'all take care of your new moon intentions and light those candles, dance, have a good time, call down the energy of Leo to to just make happen in your life what it is that you need to make happen. I'm glad you my fellow Pisces, so you understand. Now I love to graze after I eat. That's my problem. Bites here and there. Baby, I used to be the grazer of all grazer. The grazer of all grazer. I do like eating in small little bits. I don't like eating too much at one time. So, yeah, we're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna keep talking. If I don't, just turn on the music. Love you all so much. Happy new moon. And yeah, remember, you are amazing goddesses, and the world is better because you are here. Love y'all. All right, y'all, let's dance. Let's dance. Let's dance. I get you, Felicia. Ah. You too, High Priestess. Happy new moon. Hey. Yay, Christina. Yay. You're giving me some ideas for the community, the membership. I'll put some stuff in there for health and wellness. What? Take my lipstick off. My lips are dry. Thank you. Love you. Hey, hey, hey. Nice. Gonna sit new moon. Hey. Y'all better get that belly dance on. Get that belly dance on.